Senior Secondary School, Kajiado County, and lastly, Honorable Speaker, at number 10, Moi Girls School, Mandera County. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Honorable members, the ICT team kindly look into the microphones, including the speakers. Then, before we give the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Health, allow me, because I know there is a lot of traffic of learners from different institutions awaiting back here to get into the galleries. We recognize them as soon as they come in. In the public gallery, we are recognizing Olbanata Junior School from Subukia's constituency, Nakuru County. We are recognizing Lare Primary School from Joro constituency, Nakuru County. And in the speakers gallery, we are recognizing Hill School Kakamega from Lurabi constituency, Kakamega, and Lenjina Junior School from Narok South constituency, Narok County. On behalf of the House and all of us, you are welcome to observe the proceedings of the House, but the member for Lurambi, I will indulge you for 1 minute to welcome those not just from Lurambi, but all of them that are in the galleries.
Give me the mic. All right, okay. Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. On behalf of the 13th Parliament, I wish to welcome all the learners that are here with the accompanying teachers. And also, Madam Speaker, I want to recognize Kakamega Hill School, which is a great giant academically in my constituency. This school has a great history because they began from just one single mud-walled room to where they are. In 2018, they produced the best student in Kenya. So I welcome you, Kakamega Hill School, in the big, beautiful city of Kakamega, our Singapore of Kenya. Thank you.
Very well. You're welcome, learners and teachers who are visiting us today. Department or Chairperson, Committee on Health, you have some papers. Honorable Nikal. Honorable Ward Chief is distracting you. You have some papers to lay?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 23rd June 2026. Report of the Departmental Committee on Health on its consideration of public petition number 1 of 2026 by Mr. James Cargo regarding management of hemophilia and other bleeding disorders among patients and children in the country. I beg to lay.
Very well. Chairperson, Budget and Appropriations Committee. I do not seem to see him around. That will be stepped down for later. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Honorable Nikal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to give notice of motion on consideration of public petition number 01 of 2026 regarding management of hemophilia and other bleeding disorders among patients and children in the country. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion: that this House adopts the report of the Departmental Committee on Health on its consideration of public petition number 1 of 2026 regarding the management of hemophilia and other bleeding disorders among patients and children in this country, laid on the table of the House today, Tuesday, 23rd of June, the year 2026.
Very well. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The first chance will go to the ones requesting statements by the honorable member for Tharaka. Honorable Murugara.
Yes. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the mysterious death of a child in the Raka constituency. Honorable Speaker, Ms. Shale Gatumi Mugende, a 3-year-old child from the Raka constituency, went missing on the 27th of April 2026. Her body was later discovered on 2nd May 2026 at Iriani village, Bukothima ward in the Raka constituency. The disappearance and subsequent death of the minor have caused anguish to her family and raised concern among the area residents. The circumstances under which the child went missing and the events leading to the discovery of her body remain unclear and require urgent investigation by the relevant security agencies. Such occurrences involving minors are rising in the country and raise serious concerns regarding the safety and protection of children, the response by security agencies to reported cases of missing children, and the capacity of investigative agencies to promptly establish the cause of death and bring perpetrators to justice. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1. The circumstances surrounding the disappearance and the subsequent death of Ms. Shale Gatumi Mugende, including the motive and whether the deceased was a victim of child abduction. Number 2, the steps taken and investigations undertaken by the relevant agencies upon receiving the report of the missing child and including the timelines of response, such efforts and recovery of the body. Number 3, the status of investigations into the death of the child, including whether any suspects have been arrested and questions in connection with the matter. Number 4, the measures being taken to ensure that the family of the deceased receives justice. And number 5, the measures put in place to strengthen child protection, community policing, and rapid response mechanisms in cases involving missing children. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. The Chair, Administration and Internal Security. Vice Chair, are you responding on the same?
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I really want to support what Honorable Collegia is raising.
You are the Vice Chair of the committee.
Yes, but the Chair is here. So today the Chair is going to respond. I just want to ride on what Honorable Collegia is raising. I think the issue of pedophile and also people preying on children is rising in Kenya. It is a matter that we must take it with very serious concern.
Thank you.
And also penalties in terms of punishment must be severe so that there is deterrence across this country. It's a new thing and it's likely to grow if we don't stem it quickly. Thank you, Honorable.
The good thing is that Honorable Raso, you're the Vice Chair of the committee that is responsible, so you'll have the chance to prosecute. But I agree with Honorable Murugara and yourself that the issue of missing children, the issue of defilement, the issue of murder of children is rising, and it's a matter that we must, as a House, give attention to. So I would hope that Honorable Chair of Administration and Internal Security, even as you answer Honorable Murugara's, it has a broader overview of what are we going to do to deter and for the responsible to get action taken against them, to deter others who would even be thinking about it. So we hope that you can be able to respond to Honorable Toto. Not Toto, Honorable Donya.
You are not wrong, Madam Speaker. Toto is part of the name. I also have an issue with the chair because I raised a statement about missing children. You said you are going to give me a response in 2 weeks. Today ends the 3rd week. I've not received my response, Madam Speaker. I don't know why it is taking long. And yet, when he was asked how long will Donya get the response, they said 2 weeks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. On the issue of when to respond to George Murugara, given the sensitivity of the matter, we'll try to get the response, even if it's preliminary, on Thursday 2nd. And I know still have one of your response. And I think on the matter, which was actually well handled by the Vice, we know, and we're also getting concerned that there is a high increase of such cases. But because we may be having the minister and, of course, the security agencies sometime this week, we may also put as one of the issue to be really addressed and look around on how to address that issue. It's really concerning to all of us.
So we expect a preliminary response on 2nd. I think that is in order next week. Honorable Kamket, is it on the same?
Madam Speaker, while the chair responds to those matters, may I also ask him, Madam Chair, to look at the report of a missing person, a student from my constituency, who went missing 2 weeks ago from Pwani University. And the OB number I can provide to him. We've tried all we could, but we've not been able to succeed. The parents are in
Honorable Kamket,
distress.
I know you can also raise, because the chair has indicated the CS and the security agencies may be appearing, because you've not raised it on the floor officially.
I'm raising.
Liars with the chair, if you can attend even that meeting so that you also follow it up. Owen Bayer.
Thank you.
Speaker, I want to say this, Speaker. You know, when the lives of children are at stake, the future of the nation is actually also at stake. And this is something that we must do within our means and powers as Parliament and as a nation, that we must always protect the children of this country. The rising cases of children being defiled, children being killed, children being manhandled in whichever way, Honorable Speaker, must be something that should worry all of us and should worry even more security agencies, Honorable Speaker. That there are rogue guys, thugs that roam around and their target is just children, Honorable Speaker. And I think we must bring an end to this as a country. And if the security organs put their foot down and stamp their authority, we will not have it. We have the case in Kilifi where baby Kezia was first raped, and her neck was broken and limbs dismembered. These are sick people. These are sick people. But all this comes down to how effective is our Nyumba Kumi? How effective is Wazee wa Vijiji? How effective is the system, the chiefs and the assistant chiefs? Because if these pedophiles and these people are roaming around, and yet we have security down from Nyumba Kumi going up, Honorable Speaker, then why are we having situations like this? Because this country is built, the security system in this country is built from bottom up. And we have eyes all over. Why do we get to this situation? So as Honorable Tongoyo tries to talk to some other people as I address his committee, Honorable Tongoyo, we need your attention. Murungara, allow the Honorable Tongoyo to give us his full attention. You need to put your foot down as a committee on the security apparatus. And you know, ensure that from Wazee wa Nyumba Kumi going up, the security apparatus is working. Otherwise, a lot of things are happening in this country and nobody is aware. How can we have a situation like that? So I want to
Very well, you've made your point. You've made your point, Honorable Owen, and I've indulged you because this is a topical issue. It is a matter of concern and we must do something about it as a country. Honorable Tongoyo and your team, you can hear the sentiments of members. So we expect a better report, not just on that issue, but on the overriding issue of insecurity to children in the country. Millie?
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as you know, all my life I've worked around issues of child protection. And I want to agree with the members that it's very concerning what is going on around the country in relation to children. And I would request the committee that when they are considering to let us know whether there's sufficient funds for the Counter-Trafficking Victims Fund, for the Victim Protection Fund, that helps when we actually get victims. But above all, can we know whether there is also a challenge in terms of the number of officers that can deal with those cases? Because then maybe the question comes back to us as a House. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, the issue of missing, abducted, and murdered children is becoming absolutely scary. And it's something that I wish even as Parliament we could have actually dealt with it on the 16th of June, which was the Day of the African Child. It's just that I wasn't around to raise it, but the relevant committee should give us that information.
Muliungi, you'll be the first one on this.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would like to give information to the Committee on Security because there are so many people who are missing. And last 2 weeks in my constituency, 6 bodies were found in a mass grave and exhumed. And I made a statement here about the same. And Security Committee was supposed to respond to me in 2 weeks. Maybe, Madam Speaker, those people who are missing could be the 6 bodies which were found in my constituency, buried in a mass grave, and they have not been identified up to date. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Chair, you have your work cut out. And there are some issues that Honorable Millie has raised, that you have a desktop kind of look for the issues, because even prosecution, the judiciary, it all ties together. If someone has been suspected of killing a child, if that does not see the conclusive end of actually being jailed or any consequences, it emboldens other perpetrators. So we need to look at it not just from the one case, but all the way to the end. What is the problem? Evidence collection. And I know every member here, if they speak, they have had a story in their constituency that touches children. So I'll give you a minute to just wrap it up.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I think actually you have really put it very well. And I agree that it has to be a collaboration between both the criminal and justice system. But having said this, Madam Chair, one, I want again to reaffirm that we had called the Minister and the security agencies to appear before the committee. We had planned Thursday, but because of the obvious issues, the reasons, we may push it to Tuesday if it's agreeable between the committee and the CS. But Speaker, we all know that this Parliament appropriated the 2026-27 budget, and there is about 3.9 billion Kenya shilling to pay the village elders. And one of the big reasons is that these village elders should be able to help the police and the Ngawa officers to the village level and to the household to address such big challenges like the missing and such deaths of children. So it's something that we'll be addressing. And I call upon other colleagues who probably have their question and statement not responded to, they can as well appear before the committee so that we can process at the committee plenary rather.
Kindly make timely communication to the affected members for planning. Next statement by the member for Saboti. Are you in the House?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, thank you for this opportunity to request for a statement regarding the foreign scholarship awarded to Kenyan students. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the award and the distribution of foreign government scholarships to Kenyans. Honorable Speaker, over the years, the Ministry of Education has facilitated awards of a considerable number of foreign government scholarships in recent years. However, little information has been made public on how these scholarships are awarded, including the granting countries, the fields and levels of study, the number of beneficiaries, and the distribution of beneficiaries across counties and constituencies. It is important that the allocation of such opportunities is guided by fairness, transparency, and regional balance so that no county is left behind. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. Number one, a comprehensive list of all foreign scholarships awards facilitated, coordinated, or endorsed by the Ministry of Education from 2023 to date, specifying the granting countries, the fields, level, and the duration of study, the number of beneficiaries, the distribution of beneficiaries across counties and the constituencies, and the names of beneficiaries. Number two, the criteria applied in the identification, shortlisting, and selection of beneficiaries, and the measures instituted to ensure fairness, transparency, regional balance, and equality of opportunity in the process. And lastly, a report on the audits and evaluations of the scholarship allocation process, including the extent of compliance with the principles of fairness and regional balance and the status of beneficiaries. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Education Committee, Chairperson, not in the House. Vice. Are you a member, Clive? When do we expect the statement?
We can try get that in 2 weeks.
2 weeks we'll be going for recess. Could you bring a preliminary next week?
Immediately after recess, just to be safe. Immediately after recess.
What is out of order, Millie?
Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, how can the honorable member purport to be giving answers relating to the government when he is in Linda Mwananchi? He has no response. He has no response from Linda Mwananchi.
Order, Millie. Honorable Millie, the Honorable Clive is a member of the committee. He has spoken as a member of the Education Committee. Okay. Honorable Caleb, first week after recess.
Madam Speaker, if it was a matter of Linda Mwananchi, probably I would have already gotten an answer.
The good thing is that you are also a part of it, I presume. So,
2 weeks is sufficient, I think.
It is enough. Yeah. First week after we resume.
Yeah.
Honorable Amina Mnyazi.
Thank you, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding frequent power outages and poor electricity infrastructure in Malindi constituency. Honorable Speaker, for several months, residents of Malindi constituency have been experiencing frequent and prolonged power outages arising from repeated failures of electricity distribution infrastructure, including collapsing power poles, faulty transformers, and delayed repair and maintenance works. The persistent power outages have disrupted economic activities, affected provision of essential services, and caused a rising case of insecurity. Furthermore, the failure of electricity infrastructure resulted in loss of lives in Maweni town in Malindi constituency. On 20th March 2026, an electricity pole fell onto the residence of Mr. Mohammed Bashir, leading to the death of his wife, Ms. Amino Hassan Gabobe, and their 4-year-old daughter, baby Samira Mohammed. This incident has raised serious concerns regarding the safety and maintenance of electricity infrastructure in the area, as well as responsiveness of responsible agencies in addressing the hazards. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the Chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. Number one, a report on the status of investigations by Kenya Power and other relevant agencies into the incidents that occurred on the 20th March 2026 in Maweni town. Number two, the steps taken by the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to compensate the family of Mr. Mohammed Bashir, including expected timelines for the compensation process. Number 3, the specific action taken to prevent similar incidents, including routine inspection, maintenance and replacement of electrical infrastructure, and enforcement of public safety measures. 4, the immediate interventions being undertaken by the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum to urgently address the recurring and prolonged power outages in the area. And lastly, the long-term plans to upgrade electricity distribution infrastructure in Malindi constituency to stabilize power supply. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Very well. That goes to the Committee of Energy. Chair, not in the House. Mandazi, are you holding a brief?
Thank you, Chair. I would think we can, since it involves loss of life, Honorable Chair, our Speaker, sorry, we can give a preliminary report before we proceed for recess, that is next week. But Chair, then, Honorable Speaker, then allow me to give the following information to members. I sit in the Energy Committee, and Kenya Power has a charter. And normally Kenya Power at times says that we do not get information on time. I would like to give a USSD code to members, because at times there is faultiness in terms of transformers. There is a tree that has fallen and it requires an emergency or someone to give attention to that. The USSD that Kenya Power has in case of any emergency, and this be known to the public and to the members of this House, is a *977#. *977#. In case of any emergency, in case of any loss of life, and you need to reach out to Kenya Power as soon as possible. That is the USSD that Kenya Power normally gives out. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
We'll bring a response to Honorable Amina's question next Thursday before we break for recess.
Thank you, Chair.
We will now indulge the member for Kilgoris.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I don't know what the Professor Jaldesa is doing there. But, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member, Honorable Zunguli, go on. But advise the Honorable Kibagendi not to block the view. It is out of order to block the Speaker's view.
Together with
the member of the floor.
Together with Professor Jaldesa.
Professor Jaldesa, be guided. Go on, Honorable Zunguli.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding insecurity at Angata Barikoi in Kilgoris constituency. Honorable Speaker, on or about the 20th of June and 21st of June 2026, a livestock theft incident was reported in the neighboring Kuria East constituency, where a cow was taken by individuals alleged to have originated from Angata Barikoi. The thieves were then pursued by officers from the anti-stock theft unit station, who were unable to apprehend the suspects. Following the unsuccessful pursuit, the officers instead confiscated cattle belonging to members of the local community. Unfortunately, during this operation, a confrontation arose between the residents and the police officers, resulting in the death of an officer attached to the anti-stock theft unit. Honorable Speaker, following the incident, the security officers are alleged to have subjected residents of the area to indiscriminate acts of violence and intimidation. Residents of Angata Barikoi, particularly those from Kabusa and Kaptembwet and Ngendalel villages, have been living in fear due to the violence being meted out against them by the officers. There has been indiscriminate beating up of people, looting of their property in their shops and houses, and in some cases, acts of sexual violence. There are also reports that the residents continue to be exposed to such violence, with houses being set ablaze, thereby making the matter an urgent and critical one. This raises serious concerns regarding the conduct of the security officers, particularly the apparent use of collective punishment against innocent residents, contrary to the principles of the rule of law and due process. Honorable Speaker, it is therefore against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, the circumstances surrounding livestock theft incident, the death of the anti-stock theft unit officer, and measures being taken to investigate the case and to apprehend the suspects. 2, the reasons for the alleged confiscation of livestock belonging to members of the local community, and an indication on when the livestock will be returned to the innocent residents. And 3, the measures being taken to ensure the protection of the residents, restoration of law and order, and the prevention of further violations of human rights in the affected areas. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I know this is a live matter. I will give a few members who want to ride on that statement. But before then, like I had indicated earlier, we have a lot of learners visiting with us today. Allow me to recognize in the speakers gallery today, Mogeka School from Kiharu constituency, Murang'a County. In the speakers gallery, and Angela Catholic Academy, Keses, Uasin Gishu. And in the public gallery, we have ACK All Saints Kebolonik Mosop, constituency Nandi County. We have Kevaini Comprehensive from Mwingi West, Kitui County. And we have Ndorome School from Mwea constituency, Kirinyaga County. On behalf of this batch, I will give honorable member from Mwea 1 minute to welcome not only the Mwea learners, but all of them.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this chance to welcome our learners and our students in the speakers gallery, and in particular the students from Dorome Secondary School. I urge them to work very hard and very smart on their studies and to be disciplined, because education without character, I keep saying, is nothing. I urge you to work very smart, and that one day you return to this honorable house as members of parliament so you can contribute to your constituencies. You can contribute to your constituencies positively. You are welcome, and I hope you are going to enjoy and learn something from the parliamentary proceedings. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Very well. On this, I'll give the member for, let me give Honorable Mandazi, member for Chepalungu. On the statement, not on the schools, statement by Honorable Sunkuli.
Yeah, thank you so much. While I congratulate my colleague and senior Honorable Sunkuli for bringing out this matter through a statement, Honorable Speaker, it is very important that the current age that we're living in, livestock or people participating in stealing livestock is something that should be taken seriously. But having said so, Honorable Speaker, it is paramount as well to mention that it is wrong for police officers to use excessive force to children, to use excessive force to women. Honorable Speaker, currently as we speak, there are so many women sleeping outside at the cold. At this particular age, Honorable Speaker, there are so many children who have not gone to school for a period since this particular issue came in hand. We're not supporting criminals. Wherever a case is identified as this, Honorable Speaker, it is very important for our security apparatus to be able to identify who the criminals are. An entire community cannot be criminals, Honorable Speaker. And for this particular case, Honorable Speaker, it is so shocking to realize that the people who are supposed to be protecting the common Mwananchi are the same people who are going outside there to torch houses. It is so shameful.
You've made your point. I do not want you to debate more than that. I only gave you a chance to write on the statement request.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying so, Honorable Speaker, because there are videos circulating all over, and it's so bitter that we see women, and children crying outside, Honorable Speaker. And that is why we're rising to say it is no and completely no for police officers to use excessive force on women and children. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Chairperson, National Administration, I know your plate is full, but this is also an urgent issue that needs your attention.
Yeah, very true, Madam Speaker. It is an extremely very sensitive issue that needs extremely urgent attention. And Madam Speaker, it's good also to remind you that I'm a member of I come from Narok County. And besides the issue of looking even at response from the ministry, I'd even taken personal interest this morning to call the county commissioner and the rest of the security agencies to really what is needed to be done. Because, Honorable Speaker, we just all remember that what happened a few months back in Angata Barikoi, which was a very unfortunate incident. And I don't want to preempt, but I want to promise the House that Thursday, this week, we are going to give a response. And I just want to call the resident of Mruadikir to be calm. I want to promise that the ministry and the security is assured. And nobody should be able to be harassed, intimidated, threatened unnecessarily. But I also call upon them to be refrained, because we all know, killing the police officers is extremely unfortunate and uncalled for as well. So, Madam Speaker,
there should definitely be
afternoon.
There should be no death, whether of a resident or of a police officer.
At all.
Very well. Next Thursday, we'll then go to the statements to be responded to. The statement request by Honorable Zamzam, is she in the House? Chairperson, Administration and Internal Security, if you have the statement response for Honorable Zamzam, you will table it because she's not in the House. We are already in responses. The Administration and Internal Security, we are already in responses. You will table the response for Honorable Zamzam because she's not in the House. Then we'll have you respond to Honorable Murugara. Do you have the response?
Yeah, I will delegate my vice chair to handle that.
Honorable Raso. The member for Emuru Adikir. I have only indulged you because you are pretty new in this house. But you were time bad because we already gave the direction. But because you are affected and you're new, I will give you a minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. As concerning the matter in Angata Barikoi, I would like to urge the chair to speed up the investigation concerning that matter, because many people are suffering in Angata Barikoi. Many of them have just come out of their houses. They are moving around on the road, and we want to speed the investigation concerning that matter, and to ensure that the security apparatus does not injure the people of Emuru Adikir. They should look for the culprits who did the cattle rustlers. They should follow the cattle rustlers because they are known. The area chiefs and the administration in that area should make a follow-up and get rid of the cattle rustling in Angata Barikoi.
Very well. That is it will be an additional request to the chair. Honorable Raso, kindly prosecute the statement for Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the Member of Parliament for Tharaka constituency, Honorable George Murugara, requested to be apprised of the death of Mr. Shadrach Kienge Makembo. The Honorable Member particularly sought the circumstance that led to the death, the status of investigation into the death, the timeline within which the government is expected to conclude investigation. Honorable Speaker, the circumstances that led to the death of Mr. Shadrach on 9th April 2026 in Isiolo. On 9th April 2026, Mr. Anthony Njagi, an employee of Kenya Power and Lighting Company, KPLC, Isiolo branch, made an assault report at Isiolo Police Station, Vide OB number 280904-2026. He stated that his colleague, Mr. Shadrach Kiege Makembo, had been stabbed by Mr. Sheikh Mayo Hussein while undertaking meter reading at the suspect homestead within the Chechelesi area in Isiolo County. The police rushed to the scene and found the victim had already been evacuated and taken to Isiolo County Teaching and Referral Hospital for treatment, while the prime suspect was at large. They processed and documented the scene where blood-stained sword and a scabbard were recovered and secured as exhibit. The police further proceeded to the hospital and were informed that the victim had sustained multiple stab wounds on the upper back, left side of the chest and neck, as well as bruises on the left hand. The victim was later airlifted to Nairobi for specialized treatment by flying doctors, AMRE flying doctors. Regrettably, he was pronounced dead upon landing at the Wilson Airport. On 10th April 2026, a post-mortem examination was conducted by Dr. Ndirangu, a government pathologist, who opined the cause of death to severe hemorrhage secondary to multiple stab wound. The status of investigation. Honorable Speaker, investigation were commenced by the Sub-County Criminal Investigation Officer Isiolo via inquiry file number 2/2026. The officers launched a manhunt for the prime suspect, Mr. Sheikh Mayo Hussein. When his whereabouts could not be established, a miscellaneous application was filed before Isiolo Law Courts for the issuance of a warrant of arrest on 15th April 2026. The application was granted, and Mr. Sheikh Mayo Hussein has since been circulated as a wanted person for the offense of murder contrary to Section 202, as read together with Section 204 of the Penal Code. The timeline, Honorable Speaker, the investigation file is complete pending arrest of the known accused. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Signed by Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, EGH Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration. Honorable Speaker, I beg to submit.
Very well. Murugara, are you satisfied? Follow-up questions?
Not at all, absolutely.
No follow-up questions?
I'm not satisfied at all. I have a few follow-up questions. Number one, the said gentleman, the suspect, the murderer, Sheikh Mayo Hussein, is actually very well known in Isiolo. That's number one. Number two, it is claimed, and there may be some truth in this, that he is actually under protection, both by politicians and by security agencies. The reason being, this is curious that for the last 2 months, somebody under surveillance of DCI and the police can be on the run and is not arrested. It begs many questions. Number three, it is also alleged that when he comes to Nairobi quite often, he's always here doing whatever it is he's doing. And whenever he's tracked down, it looks like he has informers in the security agencies. He is informed and he vanishes. This cannot be satisfactory. This answer it itself begs one question. Will this man ever be arrested, or we are waiting to be told he could not be traced at all and that the file is closed? And lastly, is he in the country or he is out of the country? If he's in the country, I do not understand. And I cannot understand because the CID we used to know, who are now called DCI, never used to work like this. There must be a problem which the DCI and which Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen must address, because this is not the only problem where the DCI is being cited of inefficiency, lack of performing its duties timeously and in a manner that is beneficial to the people of Kenya.
Honorable Raso, we've heard the honorable members' concerns.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we are Honorable Murungara loud and clear. Actually, it is not acceptable. If somebody is in Kenya and you say they are at large, this is a known individual, somebody of known abode. So for that reason, as a committee, we'll put our foot down that this individual must be brought before the law as soon as possible.
Honorable Murugara, you know, the Vice Chair has spoken for you, and that also begs the question why we also present half-baked responses from the CSs. Maybe because I've heard the committee is also meeting the CS on several issues. This should form part of it so that you get a quick response. I know they will come together with the DCI, and because the committee is agreeing with you, then you should be able to get a response. In case you do not, in that meeting, then you come back to the House.
It is very important that we be notified in time so that we appear before that panel.
Definitely.
And we hear from the DCI himself, because this is not the only matter that I'll raise with him. He seems to be not performing his job. He seems to be shielding criminals who are not supposed to be shielded.
Honorable Murugara, you've made your point. Honorable Tongoyo and team, kindly, this meeting of yours with the CS Interior and the security organs is quite critical. Alert members in good time. Let them come and prosecute their matters there. And if we don't do that, Honorable Owen, if it's not satisfactory, then we cause the CS to appear in the plenary if this does not work out. Very well. Honorable members, the statement by Honorable Kagushia, I'm told, has been agreed that it is now overtaken by events, so it shall be dropped from the order paper. On behalf of the Liaison Committee, Honorable Murugara, kindly make the statement.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this is a statement regarding the newly elected chairpersons and vice chairperson of committees. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2b, as read together with the Standing Order 179.14, I rise to notify the House of the following: the duly elected chairpersons and vice chairperson of specified committees. Honorable Speaker, the House will recall that on Thursday, 28th May 2026, we approved the changes to membership of various committees to ensure our newly elected colleagues were placed to serve in the committees. Upon the resolution of the House, the Clerk of the National Assembly, in the exercise of the powers conferred by Standing Order number 179.2, declared vacancies in the offices of the chairperson for the Public Investment Committee on Governance and Education, the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee, and the Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning, and Public Works. The clerk also subsequently declared a vacancy in the office of the vice chairperson to the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee. Honorable Speaker, upon conclusion of the elections, I wish to report to the House that the three committees elected their leadership as follows. Number 1, Public Investment Committee on Governance and Education elected the Honorable CPA Dick Maungo Oyugi, MP, as the chairperson. Number 2, the Constitutional Implementation Oversight Committee elected the Honorable William Kamket Kasait, CBS, MP, as the chairperson. And number 3, Roman 2, Honorable Umher Aaron Mohammed, MP, as the vice chairperson. Number 3, Departmental Committee on Housing, Urban Planning, and the Public Works elected the Honorable Joseph Kipkosgei Tonui, MP, as chairperson. Finally, Honorable Speaker, may I take this opportunity to congratulate all the honorable members who have been elected and vested with the responsibilities of being chairpersons and vice chairperson of the 3 committees. I urge them to use their leadership offices to efficiently discharge the mandate of this House through their respective committees, for the welfare of our people and the advancement and the prosperity of our country. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Vice Chairperson, Liaison Committee, I submit. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Murugara. Honorable Ngogoyo.
Madam Speaker, the chair for the Committee on Public Works, and I seek your intervention, was to answer my question that the Speaker had directed that they do answer today on the issue of the building that had come down in Ngong at Olenairi area. So I want to request the chair for the Committee on Public Works, they were to give the report. They committed to do so today.
Honorable Gogoyo, I remember that conversation was on this floor. Yes. Honorable Tonui, the new chair of the committee, do you have the response? There was a commitment to bring the response because it was urgent.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm aware about that statement, and I want to request Honorable Ngogoyo to review with Madam Speaker that I give a comprehensive report during the first week of recess, after recess, first week. Comprehensive report.
Have you given a preliminary report to Honorable Ngogoyo? The chairperson.
Madam Speaker, the CS has been away, and as I stand now, he's back to the country, and they are preparing that report. So first week after recess. The
preparation of that report did not need to await for the CS, so bring it next Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
To be fair to the Honorable Ngogoyo. Next order. If you're done with the statements, yes. Next order.
Order number 8, the County Allocation of Revenue Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2026, first reading. A bill for an act of Parliament to provide for the equitable allocation of revenue raised nationally among the county governments for the 2026-2027 financial year. The responsibilities of national and county governments pursuant to such allocation and for connected purposes.
Honorable members, before we call out the next order, order number 9, there will be a reorganization of the order paper. Order number 9 and order number 10 shall be deferred. Shall be deferred from today's proceedings, so we shall proceed to order number 11.
Order number 11, Committee of the Whole House.
We are on the... So we go here. Yeah, honorable members, we are in the committee of the Whole House on the Fisheries Management and Development Bill, National Assembly Bill number 29 of 2023.
Clause 3.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Honorable members, there is no amendment to clause 3. I therefore put the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause. Clause 4.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. There is an amendment by the chairperson.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 4 be amended as per the order paper. And the input of this amendment, Honorable Chair, is just to align the role of the county government on matters relating to the fisheries, and also further to expand the scope of the county government to include also the matters of blue economy.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Yes. Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just because this bill is pretty big and we are moving very fast, and because of the time we are supposed to actually sit and harmonize with the committee, but we didn't, I would just want to encourage the Chair in good faith where they've adopted, because there are some of my proposed amendments which have they taken in. So I just wanted to know, because I've seen generational and gender equity as the committee has taken. I don't know if they have taken the other ones. For instance, my proposed amendment by creating a subclause M, which takes care of artisanal fishers, which in Kijaluo we call the Jolupo. Have we taken care of Jolupo, Jonam?
Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, many of the proposed amendments by the Honorable Millie, we have incorporated many of them there, like the clause 4, which she's also has an amendment. I want to agree with Honorable Millie that the committee incorporated that amendment. Yes.
So, Honorable Millie, we drop your proposed amendment to the clause in consequence thereof. Yes. Honorable members, that being the case, I now put the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yes, honorable members, I now put the question that clause 4 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 5 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, clause 5 be amended as per the order paper, and this is a deletion, Honorable Chair, on clause 5 of the bill, which the clause 5 was about the Fisheries Advisory Council, which, Honorable Chair, the Cabinet some time back last year, there are some institutions under the State Department of Fisheries, Honorable Chair, which were collapsed and merged, and one among is the Fisheries Advisory Council. So we are deleting.
Yeah, honorable members, I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. The Honorable Makali Mulu. And maybe before you speak to the proposed amendment, Honorable Makala Mulu, may I guide Honorable Millie that if this amendment is passed, your amendment will not be proposed because there will be no provision. Okay. Yes, Honorable Makali Mulu.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, I've listened to the Honorable Kagogo. While the deletion might be just civil, I'm just wondering, are you only deleting because they were merged, or is it because there's no value addition? Because if there was value addition by this advisory council, then you could still have it in this, so long as it will add value to the whole process. I would want to hear, is it because it's just a merger, or you think the purposes and whatever work was expected of them will be done by the lower level?
The chairperson, you may clarify.
Honorable Chairman, the Fisheries Advisory Council was there in the previous government. And this one, because at that time, we didn't have a State Department for Blue Economy and Fisheries. It was just a department in the office of the President called the Advisory Council, which was advising the President on issues fisheries. But now, as a government, we have a ministry and also a State Department in charge of Blue Economy and Fisheries, which is now handling all those issues the Advisory Council were doing then.
Thank you, Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, of course, at the face of it, actually, an advisory council would be good because it's more permanent, and when other governments come, they may not prioritize a department. However, if you actually look at the way it was crafted, there were so many conflicting mandates, and so one has to give way. And because one has to give way, I think if the advisory council gives way, it's okay. So I agree with the committee, except Chair, if you look at the amendments that I was proposing, the amendments were actually giving the mandate to this advisory council on issues to do with artisanal fishers. When this original bill that was actually declared unconstitutional by the court was brought, you could see the legislative thinking was for fishers in the ocean. It didn't think of inland waters or those who fish inland. And because of that, the mention of artisanal fishers is more accidental than deliberate. So I would want to encourage, if the committee would agree with me, I will be proposing later an amendment bringing apart specifically speaking to the welfare of artisanal fishers. Not necessarily the fund, but just the welfare, the rights of artisanal fishers. So if, because I agree with you to delete that, I hope you will also support me when I'm dealing with my Jolupo. Thank you.
Yeah, Honorable Millie, your point is made. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 5 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yeah, honorable members, let me welcome students both in the Speaker's Gallery and the public gallery to the House. Honorable members, in the Speaker's Gallery, we have Mount Kamo School from Masinga constituency in Machakos County. And in the public gallery, we have Kiangweni Academy from Gichugu constituency, Kirinyaga County. Their students, their teachers, and those accompanying them are welcome to the National Assembly to observe the proceedings.
Clauses 6 and 7.
Mention.
Yes.
I know this material, maybe you can guide us, Honorable Chairman. Clause 5, you know it was a deletion. So you have read that it should remain part of the I don't know if that is substantial or something you can just think, but since it's a house of record, it's already in our records. I don't know what is the way forward.
Yeah, it is deleted. It is deleted. Yeah, it's not part of the bill by consequence of that decision. Yeah, honorable members, I propose that clauses 6 and 7 be part of the bill. Honorable members, there being no comments, I now put the question that clauses 6 and 7 be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chairman, clause 8 be amended as per the order paper, and this amendment, Honorable Chair, provides just a clarity of the functions of the Kenya Fishery Service, and aligns also the roles in line with the two levels of government, the county government and the national government. And further, Honorable Chair, the Kenya Fish Marketing Authority established under clause 2 has been deleted. In line with the Cabinet Directive on reforms of the state corporation, the amendment also, Honorable Chair, seeks to align the provisions of the directive by deleting the references to the authority and subsequent transfer of marketing authority to functions to Kenya Fisheries Service.
Yes, Honorable Mili. But Honorable Mili, before you rise on a point of order, do I propose the question? Okay. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed. Honorable Mili.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just wanted to seek your direction because what the committee is seeking to do is to delete clause 8 and substitute with a new clause. And Chair had proposed amendments which don't go against what they are proposing, but there were amendments to the old clause. So how do we go about it? Because I still want to retain my amendments to that 8.
Yeah, you've done well to seek clarification from the study of the corresponding amendments and the bill. If the amendment by the committee, is approved by the House, your amendments in terms of paragraph F, L, and new paragraph PA will fall. You will therefore remain only to move amendment in respect of paragraph A.
But Mr. Speaker, the paragraph PA is a new one.
It is a new one, but it is materially at par with the amendments being proposed by the chair if you look at them keenly.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, Chair, you want to...
Yes, and I also want to ask Honorable Mili, Honorable Chair, but even what she was proposing, it's already captured under the clause 8C of our committee amendments. So it is in line with our clause 8C. Yes.
You are speaking in terms of what would remain.
Yes, what you wanted to do. Yes.
The amendment Honorable Mili is proposing in terms of A, you say will be covered under your clause C.
Yes, and it's covered.
Yes.
And we have captured as a committee.
Honorable Mili, if that is so, then it means your entire amendments will fall. I'm giving you time to just confirm, because
Chair, if you look at what C says, their proposed amendment is develop standards for the management of all fisheries and aquaculture activities and fishing related activities within the scope of this act. And mine provides ensure the appropriate development on standards on conservation management, sustainable use, development and protection of the fisheries resources. So mine is very specific to issues of conservation and sustainable use.
Yeah, the House will treat your part of the amendment when it comes, Honorable Mili, and I think you'll give that explanation to the House at that stage. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 8 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Millie, propose the part of the amendment that is remaining.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, this is why it's good to have Suberians around. Honorable Karoli has just alerted me that the committee's F actually mirrors exactly my proposed amendment.
Yes.
The only challenge I face is that the chair, because we did get to speak, didn't realize the passion I have for artisanal fishers. They are the reason I'm in this house. So that is why I need you to mention artisanal or jolupo by word like that, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Chair, Honorable Millie, are you dropping, therefore, your amendments?
Chair, I'm actually, there goes Karoli again. Suberians, sharp minds. He has said, look at Q, support artisanal fisheries. So the chairman is already alert to my desire. So I drop all my amendments in that clause.
Yeah, Honorable Millie, having dropped all amendments to clause 8, I now put the question that clause 8 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. An amendment. Yes, Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, clause 9 of the bill be amended as by the order paper. And this one, Honorable Chair, the Fish Marketing Authority established under clause 201 has been deleted in line with the Cabinet Directive on reforms of state corporations. The amendment seeks to align the provisions with the directive by deleting the reference to the authority and subsequent transfer of marketing functions to the Kenya Fisheries Service.
Yeah, honorable members, I propose the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Honorable members, I put the question. Honorable members, I put the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed by the chair. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. And there is an amendment by the Honorable Millie Odhiambo Mabona, MP. Honorable Millie, move your amendment.
Chair, I just wanted to find out, has the committee deleted 9, or you've just proposed amendments?
No, I can guide you, Honorable Millie. Clause 9 has not been deleted. They have only amended in terms of reading the provision of some words, which they say have been catered for.
Oh, okay, then Chair, if that is the case, then I will drop my proposed deleting of paragraph A and B because those were conflicting with the roles of the advisory council.
Yes.
But now that the advisory council has been removed, it's no longer necessary. And then I think the others, the committee have adopted my proposed amendments.
Yes.
So because of that, I dropped my amendments.
Thank you, Honorable Millie. The amendments proposed by Honorable Millie are dropped. And that being so, Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 9 be, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 10.
Honorable members, I propose the question at clause 10, is it only 10? That clause 10 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 10 of the bill be amended as per the order paper, and the input of this amendment, Honorable Chair, is to align with the provisions of State Corporation Act on representative of the board which includes the Attorney General or their representative. Further, Honorable Chair, the amendment seeks to provide a representation of the county governments in the board of the service, noting that the functions given to the service have a direct and indirect impact on the functions of the county government.
And made, Honorable Chair, honorable members, I propose the question at clause 10 be amended as proposed. The Honorable Karoli Omondi.
Honorable Chair, I have no particular amendment on this particular clause, but I wanted to ask the Chair why they have not considered it necessary to include the ministry responsible for environmental conservation as part of the membership of the board under clause 10. Because one of the main issues about fisheries is the management of the riverine estuaries where the fish produces eggs and the younglings survive before becoming fish of the right size to be eaten. But I thought there should be some linkage between the board and the ministry responsible for environmental conservation.
Chairperson.
That interest, Honorable Chairperson, is taken care of separately by NEMA, because even the fishermen who are doing like a cage fishing, Honorable Speaker, in the lake, they must first get even a NEMA licenses. So, though there is no even harm to include, but they are taken care of separately by NEMA.
Yes, Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Chair. I support, except I'd wish to draw to seek the attention of the Chair. I think is consulted. Chair of the committee. Honorable Bowen, I was just wondering if you could clarify why under 10.1G, the proposed, Honorable Bowen, are you listening? I know men have a challenge in multitasking. Under clause 10.1G, you said 3 other persons not being public officers with the knowledge and experience in the conservation, blah, 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 appointed by the cabinet secretary. I was wondering why you do not very specifically just say those persons should be from the, BMUs, because they play a very critical role. But just like the artisanal fishers, we are giving them very minimal mention in this bill. Is it possible that you could propose that amendment to include them in? It wouldn't add the numbers, but you would actually basically do a further amendment to include one of them being a representative of the BMUs.
Honorable Chair, I take the concerns by the Honorable Millie and the Honorable Karoli Omondi, but I want to take them to part D of the bill, which is the interagencies monitoring, control, and surveillance unit. That is page 993 of this. And you can see the representation. The representation there, Honorable Chair, if you allow me to read, is the Director General of Fisheries, who is the chair, representative of the police, representative of the judiciary, the county government, the BMUs, the representative of the NEMA, the representative of the public health and sanitation, the representative of the defense, water, wildlife, maritime. So all those agencies are there.
Yeah, Chair, would you also read clause 10.1C of the bill before amendment? Just if Honorable Karoli could be satisfied that knowledge on matters environment is catered for.
Yes, Honorable Chair, that is part C. The 5 members, these are the membership of the board. The 5 members not being a public officers openly appointed by the cabinet secretary for their long-term knowledge and experience in the conservation management development. That's what you are.
Yes, and it's replaced that with specific mentions of agencies like the National Environment Management Authority. Yes, honorable members, I now put the question that clause, yes. Yes, that is Honorable Owen Bayer.
Yes, if you allow me, Chair, yes, Chair. I note very interestingly that the Chair is proposing the Cabinet Secretary under 10.3, the Cabinet Secretary shall, in making appointments under subsection 1G, have regard to the principles of gender parity, age, and all that. That is under section 1G. But, Chair, if you look at the appointments in A, B, C, D, E, and even F, we have had these situations where that all these principal secretaries probably come from the same gender, or probably come from the same ethnic group, or probably come from the same village. Because of the designation that they are appointed, they are already in office. So how are you going to balance that without really ensuring that we do not come to... I remember Kenya Maritime Authority at the time when they appointed like that, and all of them belongs to one tribe. All of them, from the chair, everybody. So how are you going to ensure that we don't end up with a situation like that?
Honorable Owen Bayer, I don't want that to be responded to because the response is in Article 232 of the Constitution. That is the requirement of our supreme law, that the face of the nation in terms of gender, regional, ethnic balance, integration of minorities, the youth, persons with disabilities, must be adhered to when you compose any body that is a public service body. Yes, so honorable members, permit me now, therefore, to put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 10 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 11 be part of the bill. Do you have an amendment? Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, clause 11 be amended as per the order paper. This one is just a clean-up, Honorable Chair. So it is just a draft clean-up. It's not something major.
Honorable Chair, what are you cleaning up?
If you check, Honorable Chair, we just aligning it with the provisions of drafting style and the format of the House. How normally the
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The point is made. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 11 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Yeah, honorable members, let me welcome visiting students from our institutions to this house. We have students in the speakers gallery. Oh, really? We have Kipsiainan Secondary from Rongai constituency, Nakuru County. And then we have Sugota Marmar School from Samburu West constituency, from the great county of Samburu. And by the way, honorable members, I'm being informed by my clerk to my right that that is his former school. Yes, yeah, stand so that you may be recognized. One of you is to my right. And honorable members in the public gallery, In the public gallery, we also have Toro Loquidin School from Baringo. This is Baringo North Constituency, Baringo County. And then Emitik Academy, also from Baringo North, Baringo County. All the students, their teachers, and everybody accompanying them from the institutions are welcome to this house, the National Assembly, to observe the proceedings. Yes, I want to allow, is that Honorable Makilap? To welcome all the students to the house.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The correct pronunciation is Torolokwanin.
Yes.
Boarding primary school. And Torolokwanin. Melodiamo Torolokwanin. Yes, that is a model primary school that was built through an economic stimulus for schools in northern Kenya and pastoral community. Then Minister Elmi was in charge of northern Kenya and those areas. And it is one of the best, under the leadership of Raila Amolo Odinga during the Nusumkate government. And Baba wanted everywhere in Kenya to be brought up in development. Mr. Speaker, Torolokwanin Model Boarding Primary School is one of the best public primary schools in Baringo North constituency. Emitik Academy is the only academy, private academy, in Baringo West. Remember, Mr. Speaker, I'm a member of parliament of 2 sub-counties. So in Baringo West sub-county, Emitik Academy is the best. In public, Torolokwanin is the best. And I have liked Samburu. Samburu, the great people, the students from Samburu, the Sukuta Marmar. You know, you have difficulties in pronouncing these things, but for us pastoralists, you know how to pronounce. It's called Sukuta Marmar, and it is in Samburu. So, Speaker, I want to congratulate these children from pastoral communities, children that could not have had an opportunity to go to school, but they have an opportunity to reach parliament. So, Speaker, these children, students from these schools, are destined for greatness. If only they work hard and become disciplined, they will find themselves in this house sometime in their future if they work very hard. Mr. Speaker, I wish them success. Their director, Manager Suban for Emitik, and Mr. Joel Kilanga, the head teacher of Torolokwanin, and the good friends of mine from Samburu, Sukuta Marmar. All the best as you go back home. Go and work hard. No more strikes in Kenya. No more indiscipline in Kenya. It is Kenya Students for Peace. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Makilap. It would be remiss if I didn't allow the MP for Samburu County to also welcome all the students to the National Assembly.
I was really raising my hand so that I can also get a chance to welcome all the students, and particularly students from Samburu County, Sukuta Marmar Primary School. Mr. Speaker, you know they have traveled so many hours to be here to come and see the proceedings and also to see Kenya, because there are so many things that are not in Samburu, but they are here in Nairobi. So I want to take this chance to welcome them here, plus all the other students to come and see the proceedings of this house. And also I want to encourage them to work hard. We are here today representing them, but tomorrow we expect them to be here. Sukuta Marmar is one of the best public schools in Samburu, which is a very well-performing school, which has a very high population. So I want to welcome them, plus their teachers, those who have accompanied them to this house to see the proceedings, and also wish them success in their trip in all the other places that they visit in when they are still here in Nairobi. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and welcome all the students. Thank you.
And it is beautiful to have all the students within the National Assembly, especially on a day a former student or pupil in one of the schools is guiding the chairperson of the House in terms of how to proceed with the committee of the whole House process. You are welcome to the House to observe the proceedings. Yeah, we'll go back to main business.
Clause 12.
Honorable members, I propose the question that Clause 12 be part of the bill. It's an amendment. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 12 be amended as per the order paper, and this amendment, Honorable Chair, is just to correct a cross-referencing error and align the grammar in the provisions. Like we are deleting the word chair and putting chairperson.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 12 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 12 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 13 be amended as per the order paper, and this amendment seeks to align the drafting style and format of the House, Honorable Chair, by subsequently providing a schedule on the conduct of business by the affairs of the board.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 13 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 14 be amended as per the order paper, and the amendment seeks to enable the persons who have a management experience in the private institutions to be also qualified to be appointed as a Director General, and also to comply with the Chapter 6 of our Constitution.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 14 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 14 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 14 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, the Kenya Fish Marketing Authority established under clause 201 has been deleted in line with the cabinet directives on the reforms of state corporations, and the amendment seeks to align the provisions of with the directive by deleting the referencing to the authority and also subsequent transfer of marketing functions to the Kenya Fisheries Service.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 15 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, clause 16 of the bill be amended as per the order paper, and this one is amending to correct a cross-referencing error where we are referring a first schedule instead of second schedule, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I put the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Millie, you have an amendment to clause 16.
Yes.
Yes.
Chair, I propose that 16 be amended as per the order paper. And Chair, what I'm seeking to do is that the board is given a mandate to provide for a staff superannuation scheme to determine service to the employees of the service. And I'm saying as per the Constitution, it should be in consultation with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission.
Honorable members, I propose that clause 16 be further amended as proposed by Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I want to plead with the Honorable Millie Odhiambo to drop this amendment because to me it amounts to over-legislation because already our constitution provides that matters to do with salaries, we must consult with the Salaries and the Remuneration Commission. So it's already provided.
Honorable Millie makes good sense.
Chair, it also makes good sense to provide even when it's already there, because even the Bible tells us, remind them even when they know. That's why we are also providing for gender, youth, they're all in the Constitution. It doesn't take away, it only strengthens.
Honorable
So I would actually then encourage the chair to support it.
Honorable Charles Ngusia.
Chair, there is nothing wrong like over legislating. I sit in one of the audit committees and sometimes the CEOs end up doing a lot of errors. So I think what Millie has proposed is very important. We include it here. It doesn't cause any harm or danger, including it, Chair. So I support Millie's amendments.
Yeah, honorable members, I now put the question at clause 16 be further amended as proposed by Honorable Millie. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question at clause 16 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
Honorable members, I propose the question at clause 17 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chair, the proposed at clause 17 be amended as per the order paper. Under this one, Honorable Chair, the fisheries being a default function, the amendment seeks to provide an appointment of authorized officers, both at the national and county level, appointed by the Cabinet Secretary and the county CEC in charge of fisheries, respectively.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 17 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question at clause 17 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 17 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 18.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 18 be part of the bill.
Honorable
Chairperson.
Chair, yes, Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 18 be amended as per the order paper. And this one, Honorable Chair, the position of an honorary fisheries officers are unnecessary and no such officers have been appointed since the enactment of the Act. Hence the proposal to delete this provision. It was, this is a provision, Honorable Chair, that they needed to provide an honorary fisheries officers, which to us, so it is not necessary.
Honorable members, I propose the question at clause 18 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 18 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of the same opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. You see, what it means is that that clause is solely deleted. And so we don't need to put the final question. Next.
Clause 19.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 19 be part of the bill. Committee chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 19 be amended as per the order paper, and this one is a clean-up, Honorable Chair, with the drafting standards, and further to amend the amendment 6 to align the title of the Treaty Making and Ratification Act with the new cap number issued under cap 4D.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 19 be amended as proposed.
Surveillance. It's on monitoring, control, and surveillance.
Chair. Could you give the chairperson the mic just to clarify? Honorable Charles Nkusia, you are not yet recognized. Let the chairperson make the clarification, or you want to inform Honorable Millie?
Honorable Chairperson, I'm saying a cleanup because it uses the initials MSC. MCS, which is, we are just saying a cleanup because we are providing it to making it a full monitoring, control, and surveillance unit. Yeah.
Yeah, that being so, and with that clarification, I now put the question that clause 19 be amended as proposed. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 19 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 20.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 20 be part of the bill. Chairperson.
Honorable Chairperson, clause 20 be amended as the order paper. And this one, Honorable Chairperson, section 8, subsection 1J of the Kenya Coast Guard Service Act, Cap 200, provides that the service shall be deployed in our territorial waters, including the protection of maritime resources, including fisheries. Further, section 9, subsection 2B, gives the Kenya Coast Guard Service the power to stop, enter, board, or inspect, or search any structure, a place, a vessel, or aircraft engaged in or suspected to be engaging in unlawful activity. In this regard, Honorable Chair, the amendment seeks to include the interagencies in the monitoring, control, and surveillance as a representative of Kenya Coast Guard Service in order to enhance the protection given in the Kenya fisheries waters and fishers by inclusion of the service. We are just including the Kenya Coast Guards into the monitoring and control surveillance.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 20 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 20 be amended as proposed by the chairperson of the committee. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 20 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 21 be part of the bill. Is that an amendment? Yes. The committee chairperson.
Honorable Chair, I propose that clause 21 be amended as by the order paper, and the amendment seeks to align the title of the Public Finance Management Act with the new cap number issued, which is cap 412A.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 21 be amended as proposed. Honorable members, I now put the question. You want to make a comment? Yes, Honorable Millie.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the navigation space in this house is a challenge. Mr. Speaker, especially for people with my endowment, my Adiamboes. Mr. Speaker, sorry, Chair, I wanted your direction, and I thank the committee for adopting actually my proposed amendments in clause 21. However, I need your direction on how I can then do a further amendment to my amendment. Because I propose amendments which they've adopted, but I have a proposed amendment which I'm allowed as a mover to do, which procedurally I'm allowed as a mover to do.
Yes.
But having adopted theirs, now how do I do it? Because I wanted to include the issue which we learned from Ghana last week in the International 11 Ocean Conference, that what we are struggling with in, what I was actually struggling with, and I'm glad that I found it is in the BBJN treaty, which is establishment of standards for ensuring equitable access to fisheries resources, including navigation space, fishing space, and access to other resources. Chair, maybe I can explain this. This is a very critical issue that has emerged since this act was passed, the repealed act. Mr. Speaker, when we were coming with that law, we didn't actually have issues of cage farming. Now we have cage farming, and I'm sure you know it because we also come from a fishing community. But because cage farming has drawn so much interest, what's happening is now even navigation space is becoming a challenge for other users, transport users. And because of that, for those of us who represent, I represent 7 islands, habitable islands. Sometimes when you're moving from island to island, you get late. When you are coming in the night, because the boats don't use light, the coxswain uses their memory to navigate. But because you have all these cages all over, many times you almost hit a cage. So we need spacing for cages, but also, Honorable Karoli, I request that you allow the chair to listen to this. I showed actually the CS and the PS, the relevant PS last week, that a hotel proprietor...
Honorable Millie, you are making quite some sense.
Yes.
I hear you to say that the chairperson has moved amendments which incorporate what were your proposed amendments
but
in terms
I need
of what is
a
in the
further,
other.
yes, but I need to do a further amendment.
Now,
so how do I go
what
about
I would guide is that you draft the text of the amendment you propose as further amendment. I will grant you leave to do so.
Thank you.
And you engage the chair as we proceed to consider the amendments he has proposed.
Thank you.
Do we have any members seeking to contribute to the amendments proposed by the chair?
Chair.
There being none, honorable members, I therefore proceed to put the question that clause 21 be amended as proposed by the chairperson. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Honorable Millie, I'm not putting the final question because I want to hear you on your proposed further amendment.
Yes, Chair. In my proposed further amendments, I was actually explaining that one of the challenges that we now face, a hotel proprietor from Suba North, Kalitu Kaseu, she actually told me...
Why don't you start by moving the amendment in the text?
Let me move the amendment that we add the words. We delete in the committee's proposed amendment, which is similar to mine. You provide the establishment of standards for ensuring equitable access to fisheries resources, including navigation space, fishing space, then you delete the word and, access to other resources, and a 7 nautical mile space for cage. Maybe for cages, the legal drafter can help with that. At 12, let me see if I'd written somewhere here.
Yes, Honorable Millie, in terms of procedure, I'm looking at our standing orders 133, sub-order 10.
Yes, Chair, actually...
Because of the handicap there...
I have the words. I have the words in my computer. I'll write.
I want to guide. I want to guide that, noting the provisions of Standing Order number 133, particularly Substanding Order 10, we put the final question. You can recommit. You can recommit this so that we have the text prior to its being moved, instead of having to halt all the proceedings. Yes.
My understanding of procedure is that any amendment that is done must be in writing. So what I would request the Honorable Millie is that we recommit, then you do the text properly in writing, and then when we are done, we go back to it and adopt it. And I think that would be neater.
Yeah. In fact, the guidance Honorable Owen is giving is the guidance the chairperson is giving from where I sit. That instead of halting all proceedings as we wait for the text to be drawn and approved, then present it to the desk. I may grant you leave to move it if it is ready. Could you consult? This being the committee of the whole house, I will allow that consultation. Do you have students on the speakers gallery? Yes, honorable members, permit me to interrupt in the proceedings to welcome a number of schools and institutions visiting the National Assembly to observe more than 100 gallery. We have more girls, Isinya, offshore schemes from Kajiado East constituency, ordinary wages, Kajiado County,
and leakages, not livelihoods. Contrary to propaganda, misinformation, disinformation, and fake news, the government did not propose any taxes that were largely alleged. Specifically, there was no proposal to introduce taxes on freehold land, or any land for that matter. There was no proposal to introduce taxes on second-hand clothing or mitumba. There was no change to the rental income tax regime as alleged. There was no proposal to introduce tax on bottled water. There is no new tax on M-Pesa or mobile money. The money you send to your family, your business, or your friends will move tomorrow as it has always done. There is no new tax on mobile phones, airtime, or data. There is no new tax on locally manufactured packaging used for essential products. The Finance Act also supports livelihoods and growth through incentives for motorcycles, electric passenger buses, electric bicycles, solar batteries, and locally assembled mobile phones, making innovation, clean energy, and opportunity more accessible to many Kenyans. To protect our sugar industry, the Act increases duty on imported sugar from Kenya shillings 7 shillings and 50 cents to 40 shillings per kilogram, safeguarding 17 operational factories, sugar factories that is in Kenya, and the livelihoods of 2 million farmers and 10 million Kenyans who depend on the sugar sector. A 6-month tax amnesty. A 6-month tax amnesty will waive penalties and interest on outstanding tax obligations, allowing taxpayers to regularize their affairs while improving liquidity in the economy, in their businesses, and in government. Mortgage tax benefits previously available through banks have now been extended to borrowers from registered microfinance institutions, enabling them to enjoy the same relief that has been available to borrowers in banks. To address concerns raised by returning travelers, including Kenyans who travel abroad and members of our diaspora, we have increased the duty-free allowance from 39,000 Kenya shillings to 260,000 Kenya shillings for gifts and personal effects that Kenyans can buy as they travel or as they come home from their jobs abroad. To progressively reduce our debt burden, projects undertaken through public-private partnerships and our new National Infrastructure Fund will now benefit from reduced taxes, lowering delivery costs, accelerating implementation, and improving efficiency. This is what a fair tax system looks like. One that protects the vulnerable, rewards enterprise, promotes compliance, and shares responsibility fairly. The true measure of a budget is not what it collects, but what it makes possible. This budget invests in people, productivity, and prosperity. Ladies and gentlemen, education receives the largest allocation in this budget. Kenya shillings 784 billion, up from 526 billion in 2022, has been allocated by this budget. This investment reflects a simple belief: every child deserves the opportunity to learn, to grow, and to succeed. To honor our commitment to teachers on contract, 20,000 teachers will transition to permanent and pensionable term, as has been provided by this budget. In addition, we will recruit a further 24,000 teachers, bringing the total number of teachers hired under this administration to 124,000 teachers. I had made a commitment of 116,000 teachers. Now, with this hiring of 24,000 teachers under this budget, we will have crossed the 116,000 into 124,000. The Higher Education Loans Board will receive 56.7 billion Kenya shillings, up from 15 billion Kenya shillings in 2022. And this is in recognition of what I have gathered as I moved throughout the country, listened to many students in our TVET and universities, that they needed additional money to fund their education. We have also allocated 40.4 billion shillings for university, KMTC, and TVET scholarships, and a further 6.6 billion to settle universities' lecturers' arrears that has been very long standing. As a result, KMTC students are now eligible to apply for Higher Education Loans Board funding. This was not the case in the past, but now, as I went around, specifically when I was at some point in Kisii, I remember one of the student leaders coming to me and telling me, Mr. President, we are as good as students in college, as those in Tibet, and as those in universities. I'm happy that I can respond positively to that student leader. Funding for free day secondary education and junior school capitation has increased to Kenya shillings 84.6 billion from 52 billion shillings in 2022, while 7 billion has been allocated for free primary education. We have further provided 1.5 billion for examinations, as I have just signed here today, and another 9.9 billion for the administration of national exams going into the future. To support 2.8 million vulnerable learners, Kenya shillings 3 billion has been allocated for our school feeding program to keep more students in class. And I want to commend counties that are partnering with us in making provisions for support of this school feeding program. Under the competence-based education program, Kenya shillings 15 billion will be invested in classrooms, laboratories, and STEM education, particularly in underserved areas. Kenyans will remember that one of the biggest challenges that we encountered when we came into office was shortage of learning spaces. So far, we have built 23,000 classrooms. These 15 billion Kenya shillings allocated under this budget will enhance more classrooms, more laboratories, specifically 1,600 laboratories that will be built, especially in marginalized and underserved areas. In health, this act increases funding by Kenya shillings 43.1 billion shillings from last year, from 132 billion last year to Kenya shillings 175.5 billion this year. Primary health care will now receive 19.1 billion. As a result, let me state this very clearly, that no Kenyan should pay for outpatient services at dispensaries, health centers, and sub-county health facilities in any social health authority accredited, public, private, or faith-based hospitals. Let me make this very clear. We have had incidences where some hospitals around the country, public, private, faith-based, are charging citizens who go for outpatient services, yet that service has been paid for and provided by the government of Kenya. Today, I am making this absolutely clear to any facility in the Republic of Kenya that charges any citizen when they go for outpatient service, that we will shortly make it criminal for anybody to charge any citizen, because the Constitution of Kenya, Section 43, mandates the government of Kenya to provide health of the highest possible to every citizen. And therefore, with the provision of additional resources in the manner of 19.1 billion, citizens should now be able to go, as they have done, to hospital, consultations, medicine, treatment, and walk away without having to pay. Similarly, and I say this for all hospitals, be they private, be they public, or be they faith-based, because all a hospital needs to do, if a citizen is not registered, they should register them and treat them for free. We will pay for the costs. We have also allocated Kenya shillings 3.7 billion to support all our 107,000 community health promoters through replenishment of kits and tools, and by covering their social health authority contributions. As we all know, our community health promoters have been the greatest champions. In fact, they have been our shujas when it comes to matters health, in every village, in every town, in every city. The kits they are using are now almost 2.5 years old. We are now going to renew all their kits. And because they are providing a service, the government of Kenya will partner with the counties to pay social health authority for every community health promoter. Funding for Kenya Medical Supplies Authority has increased from 5 billion to 21 billion to strengthen the supply of medicines and medical commodities. With this investment, there should be no shortage of essential medicine in our health facilities. Let me say this for the avoidance of any doubt. The biggest challenge that citizens have often complained about is the lack of medicine in our health facilities, the Hakuna Dawa issue. Now, with this provision, I am asking all counties and all hospitals in Kenya to make sure that medicine is available in every health facility in the Republic of Kenya. I will convene a health summit within the next 1 month to ensure that we fully realize the benefits of these resources and translate them into improved services for all the people of Kenya. Ladies and gentlemen, agriculture remains the backbone of our economy and the source of livelihoods for millions of Kenyans. Funding for the sector has therefore increased to Kenya shillings 63 billion from 44 billion last year. We have set aside Kenya shillings 20 billion for seed and fertilizer subsidies, up from no funding in 2022. Already, 6.5 million farmers are benefiting. This investment will maintain fertilizer prices at Kenya shillings 2,500 per bag, 50 kilogram bag, down from 7,000 in 2022. We are equally investing 5.4 billion in food resilience programs, Kenya shillings 2.7 billion to support farmers and workers in the sugar sector. And as citizens know, that is a sector that we have finally turned the corner with, a sector that was almost collapsing. Today, all the sugar mills are working. We have licensed another 5 actually sugar mills in the last 2 years, and we have made sure that progressively, our estimates indicate that in the next 1 to 2 years, Kenya will be a net exporter of sugar. And that is why we have said imported sugar will now attract heavy duties. We have equally provided 2 billion Kenya shillings to waive coffee farmers' debts. We did provide 1 billion in the budget we just concluded, 2 billion in the budget we just concluded. We are providing another 2 billion in this budget, and we will complete the coffee waiver for farmers in the coming year. We have also provided 500 million shillings to enhance resources in our coffee cherry fund. Young farmers will benefit from a Kenya shillings 1.3 billion credit facility, while pastoral resilience and livestock commercialization programs have received 3.3 billion and 1.3 billion respectively. We have also allocated 5.5 billion to support 300,000 pastoralist farmers in 21 arid and semi-arid counties through cooperatives and market access initiatives. Additional investment will expand access to milk coolers and value addition equipment in the dairy sector. We're already negotiating and in final stages of an additional 650 milk coolers and value addition equipment for our dairy sector. To support rural industrialization and value addition, we have provided 3.85 billion to county aggregation and industrial parks to complete ongoing projects and to operationalize completed facilities with common user facilities. We have already 16 county aggregation and industrial parks that are complete, and we have provided in this year's budget money for their operationalization, money for equipment, money for common user facilities, so that locally produced products can now be processed, value added, before they go into the market. Our goal is simple: to help farmers produce more, earn more, and build greater prosperity in rural Kenya. We are equally committed to empowering women, young people, and grassroots communities, with nearly 110 billion committed to programs that will expand opportunity and strengthen livelihoods. This includes Kenya shillings 22.6 billion for youth programs and 12.4 billion for the National Youth Service to recruit an additional 10,000 young people, modernize facilities, and strengthen skills development. Additionally, we will be funding with other partners Kenya shillings 6.5 billion for classrooms, workshops, and hostels to accommodate an additional 50,000 recruits in our National Youth Service. Already, we have provided money for the purchase of 50 graders for the National Youth Service and 50 tippers for the National Youth Service, for them to work with the Nairobi regeneration and finally for other programs around the country. In addition, 8.8 billion shillings has been allocated for affordable credit to micro and small enterprises. And I just completed a program with Africa Guarantee Finance Fund for them to support this exercise as we work with Kenya Industrial Estates, Kenya Development Corporation, and our MSME sector. Kenya shillings 5.3 billion for the Nyota program and Kenya shillings 2 billion for paid internship is part of the resources that we have made available. We have also allocated 25 billion for cash transfer benefiting 1.2 million vulnerable households. Kenya shillings 8.9 billion for orphans and vulnerable children. Kenya shillings 4.3 billion for hunger safety net program. Kenya shillings 1.5 billion for persons living with severe disabilities. And Kenya shillings 900 million to support girls' education and dignity. To strengthen grassroots administration, public participation, and access to government services, Kenya shillings 3.9 billion has been allocated for village elders across the country. We realize this is a resource that is often available for grassroots sensitization, grassroots mobilization, creating harmony in our communities, but they have not been recognized in the past. We have now recognized the 100,000 plus village elders who will now be part and parcel of the ecosystem of government delivery. To enhance access to justice and strengthen the rule of law, funding for the judiciary has now increased from 16 billion shillings in 2022 to 30 billion shillings in this budget. Again, it is because of our commitment that funding the judiciary is not just about justice. It is also about development. And this is not a cost to the people of Kenya. It is investment in our development. Affordable housing remains a key pillar of our economic transformation. With 274,000 housing units under construction and more than 640,000 jobs supported directly and indirectly. To sustain this momentum, we have committed 138 billion to affordable housing and urban development. This will finance affordable housing units, our hostels for close to 180,000 students in our universities, in our technical training colleges, in our Kenya medical training colleges, and also to support the construction of markets across Kenya so that our mama mbogas and all other traders operate in an environment that is conducive, that is hygienic, and that is protected. We are investing in housing, infrastructure, and energy, and the digital connectivity, because growth requires jobs, creates mobility, and also opportunity. Accordingly, 225 billion has been allocated to roads and Kenya shillings 52 billion to transport infrastructure. I did make a commitment that we are going to complete the ongoing 6,000 kilometers of roads in Kenya today. And we are working on other transport infrastructure to support logistics and mobility in our country. This includes 20.8 billion for the extension of the standard gauge railway from Naivasha to Kisumu and onwards to Malaba, and Kenya shillings 4.2 billion for the Dongo Kundu Special Economic Zone, and also an additional 3.8 billion for flood mitigation and emergency preparedness, as we are getting from the weathermen that we might be expecting an El Nino. Reliable and affordable energy remains essential to economic growth and household welfare. We have therefore allocated 34.1 billion to the sector, including 26.1 billion for rural electrification and grid expansion, Kenya shillings 3.7 billion for power generation, and Kenya shillings 3.2 billion for alternative energy technologies. To cushion Kenyans from volatility in the global fuel market, including disruptions arising from conflict in the Middle East, including in the Iran, we have set aside 21.5 billion for fuel stabilization and provided seed capital for the establishment of the East African refinery as a mechanism for a long-term solution to challenges that face us in our fuel supply. To strengthen national security and improve operational readiness, 6.5 billion shillings has been allocated for modernization of equipment, transport, and motor vehicle fleet for our police and security agencies. In partnership with other agencies, we are also supporting the delivery of 10,000 housing units for officers in the National Police Service, Kenya Prison Service, and the National Youth Service. The digital economy, where many young people are finding jobs and opportunities, will receive 10.5 billion to do the following. Number one, connect 20,000 public institutions, including schools, hospitals, police stations, to fiber optic. And this will also include the ICT hubs being constructed by our members of parliament. Number two, to provide 50,000 devices for our Jitume centers and ICT hubs that have been constructed or being constructed by our members of parliament and by all other actors in this sector to promote digital commerce, digital learning, and digital jobs. Number three, to digitize 12 government departments and agencies to make government services much more accessible, much more affordable, and easy to be accessed by citizens. And number five, to expand digital skills development and training programs. On water, sanitation, and environmental protection, we will spend 112.4 billion Kenya shillings, including funding for the completion of major projects such as Umar Dam in Kitui, Sioi Murun Dam in West Pokot, Thwake Dam in Makueni, and Mwache Dam in Kwale. This will also include 25 other water projects that are now in the process of being advertised across the country, and we are going to give you a list of those projects. In the blue economy space, investments will include completion of a center of excellence in Kabonyo, Kisumu County, Namaret in Shimoni, Kwale County, the operationalization of Shimoni Fish Port in Kwale, the completion of 15 fish landing sites and markets at a cost of 1.5 billion shillings, the establishment of search and rescue center in Kisumu, the acquisition of rescue boats both in Lake Victoria and in the Indian Ocean, and the provision of 272 fishing boats for our fishermen. This will also include a ferry service that will be made available in Likoni, one in Lake Turkana, and the other one in Lake Victoria. That money has already been provided for. To strengthen Kenya's position as a global sporting nation, 26.4 billion has been allocated to complete 39 sports stadia in Kenya. Prepare for AFCON in 2027. Reward our outstanding sportsmen and women who represent Kenya on the international stage and support sports competition and tournaments nationwide. We have also allocated 14.2 billion for the completion of the Bomas Convention Center, and will work with counties to identify and develop signature tourism sites and products supported by marketing initiatives with the aim of moving our tourism arrivals to 5.2 million by 2028 and close to 1 trillion shillings in revenue, up from where we are today. This year, we reached a mark of 2.7 million tourists, and we raised close to 500 billion from the tourism sector. Taken together, these investments reflect a government focus not only on managing the present, but also on building a stronger future. A future with more jobs, more opportunities, better services, and shared prosperity for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, nation building is work in progress. But I can say with confidence, the foundations are stronger, the direction is right, and the results are becoming increasingly clear and visible. I have said before that Kenya will become a first world nation within a generation. Some hear ambition. I see possibility. Every serious plan must be financed. Every transformation must be funded. And every national aspiration must be backed by action. That is what this budget does. It invests in our children through education, in our families through healthcare, in our farmers through agriculture, in our youth through jobs, enterprise, and skills, and in our future through infrastructure, innovation, and the prudent utilization of public resources. The ultimate measure of this budget will be the opportunities it creates and the lives it transforms. History does not reward pessimism, cowardice, and indecision. History rewards the courageous, the resilient, the builders, and those who refuse to surrender their future to doubt, division, or fear. That is the task before us. To build a stronger economy, create more jobs, to expand opportunity, to protect the vulnerable, and to ensure that prosperity reaches every part of our republic. I did make a commitment to the people of Kenya that the old exclusive development paradigm is gone. That going into the future, every part of Kenya, irrespective of how they voted, irrespective of who they are, irrespective of the past, will benefit from the development of our nation. And that no part of Kenya, no region of Kenya, no section of Kenya, no community of the Republic of Kenya, no religious persuasion will be left behind, that we are going to move together. Together, we must reject propaganda. We must reject misinformation. We must reject disinformation. We must reject fake news. We must reject insults. We must reject hate. We must reject ethnic bigotry and profiling. And we must reject division. I therefore call upon all Kenyans to remain united, confident, and focused on our shared purpose. Let us continue to work together, to build together, and to move forward together. To every farmer feeding the nation, every entrepreneur building a business, every worker striving for a better life, every young person pursuing opportunity, and every family seeking dignity and security, this budget is yours. The government is working for you, and together we are building Kenya's future. The vision is clear. The agenda is set. The plan is funded and on course. The transformation is happening. And together we are building the prosperous, inclusive, and modern nation that we all deserve. Thank you very much for your attention. Asanteni sana. Okay. Thank you.